The conference has been muted.
Okay, Erica, I unmuted you. I just wanted to make sure that I can hear you.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. I can hear you. So, all right, perfect. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Okay. Erica, you can see it?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to talk about online third-party reviews and Reputation.com. I actually have Erica joining me from the marketing department. She's going to jump in when we get to Reputation.com, but Erica, definitely jump in at any time as we go through reviews. She handles review process with the existing franchisees, so she's here to help along the way as well. Okay. Today we're going to talk about online third-party reviews and how you can manage them through some of the tools that we have. First I wanted to, First I wanted to talk about the world we live in today. So there used to be a time where you can just, talk to your family and friends when you wanted to talk about a product or a service. Nowadays, there's a number of platforms for people where they can connect all over the world from one to the other in terms of talking about different types of products, services, whether or not they're satisfied, unsatisfied. There used to be a time where, the consumer would just go right to the business and talk about their experience, but now there's these platforms that allow for consumers to go online and be able to talk about their experience. So this diagram just kind of gives you some of the ones that, some of the third-party review sites where consumers can post reviews to. So you have Google, HomeAdvisor, Facebook, Yellow Pages, Angie's List. These are all available to a consumer to go on to write about an experience they have with a business, a product, or a service. So simply put, when it comes to reviews, the more reviews you have, the more customers you get and the more money and revenue you bring to your business. So there's a few statistics that I wanted to share with you guys on online reviews. So 88% of customers have read online reviews to determine the quality of a business. 72% of customers say that positive reviews increase their trust in a business. And 88% of customers trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation. So those statistics, those are really high numbers when you're looking at the way consumers are choosing their buying patterns and how they're choosing to buy products and services. I mean, I can tell you just as an example in my own life, just this week, my husband is a reviewer and he depends on reviews when we make purchases. And just this week alone, we've been meal planning, so we've been looking at recipes, and I pick ones based on the reviews that are there to determine whether or not it's going to be good or not. We're also in the process of renovating our kitchen, so we've been reading through reviews every night on kitchen contractors. And then just a few days ago, I have some young kids. Our baby monitor broke, so we've been reading reviews to try and get a new one. So just daily in our lives, we're constantly looking at reviews. I know my husband, he just goes straight to the filter and filters by numbers of reviews, the ratings that a company has based on their reviews. So it's extremely important when growing your business that you look at third-party reviews and what you can do to make sure that you're acquiring them for your business. Importance of third-party reviews. So one of the most important aspects is the impact that they have on your local SEO. And not only do they impact your ranking on local search engines like Google, they also affect the search results that actually get surfaced and clicked on, and they also affect consumer purchasing decisions. So at this point, third-party reviews, they're just another important component of the local SEO strategy that we have in place with you in terms of Kigo and what they're doing. Acquiring third-party reviews and managing them is another aspect to your local SEO strategy. you're giving up leads if you don't have good reviews. So, like I mentioned, people are making buying decisions based on reviews. So if you're not there and you don't have them and you don't have good ones, then that's not appealing to a consumer in this day. Bad or no reviews equals poor customer perception. So there's a lot of times you can go online and you're searching for a business and they have no reviews. And I know just in myself alone, sometimes right away I just think, like, why don't they have any reviews? What's going on over there? So it's something that we want to keep on top of. Your business is an asset, so bad or no reviews pull down the values of that asset. So, in this process, we hope that you guys are new, starting out your businesses. You are going to be connecting with your consumers, face to face. We're just in the name of the game, there's going to be some reviews that aren't always positive, but we're hoping that the good reviews are going to outweigh the bad reviews. If you do nothing, you're going to get very few reviews because a lot of people just don't actively go out there and do them on their own, or you'll get negative. It seems as though, a lot of people, when they do want to leave a review, it's usually because they had a bad experience, so they run to the computer and they want to write about it and share their experience so other consumers can read it. So you want to make sure that we're doing the opposite to be able to promote to those customers that we're having good experiences with, to make sure that they get to the computer to leave those good reviews. That way they outweigh any negative ones that might be out there. Importance of Google reviews. So a lot of times when I talk to franchisees, we discuss acquiring reviews, and sometimes franchisees aren't sure where they should get them from, where they should push consumers to. Should they leave them on HomeAdvisor? Should they leave them on Facebook, Yelp, Google? So there are a lot of platforms out there where consumers might just choose the ones that they like to use. But the most important one for us is Google Maps. The most prominent area on Google for location-based listings is the map area. So in this image, you can see what is called the 3-pack, and it's the 3 local businesses that show up in the Google Maps listings area. So that is ideally where that's where we want to show up. And you can see in the picture, it's a little blurry, but you can see there that it shows the reviewer ratings. It shows the number of reviews. So to a consumer right away, that's appealing for someone to look at that and see that they have a high star rating, and that there's also a number of reviews left behind that they can read to understand the business better just by seeing what other consumer experiences are. So when you're not sure where to push consumers to, I always recommend Google. 1/3 of all online reviews are left through Google Maps listings. Building reviews on your Google Maps listing is more valuable than asking a customer to just go directly to your website. I will show you in a few slides that there is the option to be able to do that for a consumer to go direct to your website. But due to all the importance of third-party reviews and the impact on SEO, we want to push them through Google first and foremost. And then in addition to that, if you look at Facebook and Yelp combined, those 3 sites account for nearly 80% of all online reviews. So like I said, you'll be able to, consumers are going to go where they're going to go to leave reviews if they already have places that they prefer. But if you're starting out and you're not sure, where to push, Google, Facebook, those would be the top 2 that I would recommend. Okay. How can you get more reviews? So there's a number of ways that you can go out there to solicit for reviews. So I'm going to go through them, and then in a few slides, I'm going to share some pictures of dashboards with you, and then Erica is going to go ahead and actually take you through the Reputation.com dashboard. So ways that you can get more reviews. Send an email request to satisfied customers utilizing the Kigo dashboard and the Reputation.com dashboard. Kigo has a dashboard where you're able to go in and request and manage reviews, and I'm going to show you what that page looks like. But we're now partnered with a company called Reputation.com, and they have a dashboard where franchisees can go in and be able to request reviews, manage their reviews, see what's come in out there on the internet through the platforms that are part of Reputation.com, and those are some of the things that Erica will talk to you about. Point customers towards your local website to leave a review. So sometimes if you're in communications with a customer, you could say, if you don't have a link to share with them, you can just say, go to my local website and leave me a review. And I'll show you what that page looks like as well, where they can go direct to your website, type in a review, and post it right there to your page. We also have some review pieces. On the slide, you can see there's a Post-it note that speaks to leaving a review, and then there's also buck slips available, which is the image at the bottom that speaks to leaving a review and the different platforms that your business is on. So those are available through lawandoctorforms.com through Real Green. So it's good to have them handy. That way when you're out and you're doing an estimate, you're leaving any paper behind, you can include a buck slip. You can slap on a Post-it note wherever you can, just as a reminder to consumers to leave a review for you. Create an email signature with links to your review site. So in your email signature, you can add links. You can add those little icons where you can click on them, and it'll take you to your profile page on those review sites. Or you can have just the links there just in your signature as well, where someone can just click on the full link. Make it a part of the phone talk when you're talking to consumers. If you have staff in the office, if you have an office assistant, train them to speak to the review process. If they're talking to a customer or they're doing after service follow-up calls, they can say, if you don't mind, can you go to our Google page and leave us a review? Or send them to the Kigo site. Whatever's easy for you guys in your conversation with them. Like I said, we want to push Google because of the importance there. But any reviews that you get are going to be positive, so we just want to make sure that it's part of your daily process when you guys are out there in the business, talking to consumers, meeting with your customers. Encourage train staff to tax request reviews. Keep your review page bookmarked on your truck iPad and ask in person. So if you're out there with an iPad, your phone, something that you don't mind handing over to the customer, you can always open the review page or open Google if it's easy for the consumer to do, where you can just hand it over to them and ask them to leave you a review at that point. Attach the review buck slip to all hard copy materials. The customer reviews tab on the local site. So this shows you the customer reviews tab on your local website. So if you look at the top, there are all the menu bar items. So there's lawn care services, outdoor pest control, and up there you'll see customer reviews. So if you click customer reviews on your home page, it's going to take you to this page. And on this page, you can have links to the third-party sites. So you can put the Google link, so if somebody clicks that, it takes them right to your Google Maps listing where they can leave a review. Same with Yelp. You can put Facebook on there. And then the consumer can your customer can right there just leave a review and post it. So it's just an easy way for your customers to be able to leave you a review. Email requesting and managing reviews. So the two dashboards we have available for you to request reviews and then also be able to go in and manage your reviews and respond to reviews is through Kigo and Reputation.com. So Kigo, if you log into the Kigo Local Marketing Cloud, you can see the steps here, and this will be recorded and shared with everybody, so you can go back and look and see, but you can definitely just email me at any time, and I can tell you how to find this. But in the Kigo Local Marketing Cloud, there is a reputation button. Once you hit that reputation button, it's going to take you to where you can see this yellow star where it says Kigo Social. You would click that, and then the next page is going to take you where you'll be able to see reviews in the top navigation bar. So once you click that, it's going to take you to the reviews page, and that is where you can request reviews. You can email out by emailing out a review template to customers. That's where you can go back in and see, what you've received. You can respond to reviews. So that's the Kigo dashboard that we have available. And then the other dashboard that we have available is Reputation.com, which is the one that we're really pushing for franchisees to utilize. And I'm actually going to pass it over to Erica. She manages that relationship with them. She knows a lot about Reputation.com, so I wanted her to be able to come on and talk to you guys sort of just a little bit about it, what it's there for, how you guys can utilize it, and then she can take you through just a little bit of the dashboard so you can see how you can use it.
Hi, guys. I wanted to kind of go through a little bit more like what Miranda said about Reputation.com. So we started using Reputation.com last year, and it's part of the National Marketing Fund. So it's covered in that cost. And the main difference is when you leave a review just on your Kigo site, even though that's beneficial to the site itself, and it always helps to have positive reviews on your site, it doesn't really help you from an SEO perspective. What really helps you and your business to have those star ratings that Miranda showed earlier show up in organic search results is actually getting real reviews on Google, Facebook, Yelp, etc. So the more Google reviews you get, the better you're actually going to start to show up for keywords like, for example, like lawn care service. The star rating would show up next to your business name when people are searching for that keyword. As long as you have a valid Google listing that's been verified with Kigo, then you will be set up in Reputation.com. That's the main first step that has to happen is you have to basically confirm that you have a physical address with Google. You get a postcard, and once that's confirmed and you let us know that it's been verified, or you let Kigo know that it's been verified, then one of either you guys or Kigo would let us know, okay, we're all set. Can you add us to Reputation.com? And it's a pretty simple process. We send over a spreadsheet to Reputation.com. They add you guys in as a location, and you be able to go in and check, review, respond, and monitor all of your reviews through every platform through Reputation.com. It's really, really important to respond to reviews because you don't want any people, if it's positive, just, hey, thanks for leaving me a review. And if it's negative, you really want to address it. I think the best thing to consider is if you called that person and you told them, I'm sorry that you weren't satisfied, yes, that does go a long way. But if you write back to that person and address it in writing on Google, then they're not the only person that sees it. Anybody that's researching your company is going to see that you guys are responsive and that you're going to address consumers' needs and concerns and kind of discount any negative comments that are made. Google's recently changed what they're allowing in terms of reviews. You used to be able to do like a survey and basically get a pulse and say, oh, how do you feel about a company before you ask for a review? But they're not allowing that anymore. They basically consider that to be cherry picking. So the only way that you are now able to ask for reviews is if you ask for them, you have to kind of be confident that you're going to get a good rating because it will get left directly on Google or Facebook. And I don't really say that to intimidate anybody. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that if you're using these the templates, whatever is left on Google. And if somebody leaves a poor rating, it will be there for a while and until you get better ratings that kind of start to replace that. So there's two basic templates that are available that you could use. There's the Lawn Dr. Long template, and then there's the Lawn Dr. Google 5-star. And when you go into the platform, you could do like a request, and it actually shows you what each template looks like. So you could see it on the screen in a preview before you use it. And then once they click on the review request, it basically, as long as they're logged into Google, they could leave their review right then and there. And then you would get an alert or a notification from Reputation.com that you got a review that you need to take a look at and respond to. So you would get notified, which is great. You could also do like a quick request, say like you're on the lawn and you really wanted to send it just to one person. You don't have to send it to like a whole database. You could just send it to one person, either via email, or there's actually a way that you could do it in a text. The Reputation.com does have an app that you could download. It's free. It's available for Apple, and it is compatible with any like Apple phone and I have heard some that you should not be using it like there. If you have like Google Play, it's not as user friendly. But as long as you have an Apple device, you could easily download it and send a request right then and there, or have your technicians do that as well. You could set them each up as users. And if that's, it's very simple to do that. But if you need help with sending a review or setting up your technicians, that's what we're here to do to help you do that. So I don't know if you want to go to the next slide, Miranda.
Okay. So want me to log in? I can. Yeah.
Sure, if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. One thing I just want to mention is, like, in terms of what Miranda hit on before about, if you're not actively asking for reviews, you're not going to get them. That's definitely the case. And what we saw is that if you go back like all time for reviews, like if you go to reviews, Miranda, and then put in all time.
Okay. And go where?
For the date range, just pick all time.
Oh.
So you'll see, like, back in the day, we didn't have a lot of reviews at all. Once we started using the platform in last year, we went from having like a couple hundred reviews to having over, a couple of thousand reviews. And just this year alone, we had an additional, over 2,000 reviews. And that was based on sending out bulk requests to existing customers that we knew were in the system, and not, and then asking them for a review on Google. So before we were actively asking for reviews, we got some, but it was very few and far between. So it's really important to send review requests out. We try to do that a couple of times a year when we know that the lawn looks its best. But obviously, if there's times that you feel like, oh, this is a great time that I should be hitting my customers, we could certainly help you to do that. And if you go to requests, Miranda, this is what I was mentioning before. Like, you can go to either quick request and just literally type in one person's email address and send them a review, or text message request and send them a review or request, or you could go to the bulk upload if you have a larger list. The bulk upload could be a little tricky to do yourself, so if you need help, we're certainly here to help you do that. You could also, in the history, you could see how many people actually opened the review requests, and what your return rate was. I think if you go into requests, back into requests,
Mm-hmm.
If you go to requests and metrics, Yeah, so you could see like how many were received, how many were sent, how many were delivered, how many were open, and how many people clicked. So it's very effective because you could see how like what your results were after you did the initial review request. And the way the platform works is it'll send the request out via email, and within 3 business days, only if you did not open the request at all, the email at all, it will get resent to that group. If it came into your inbox and you opened it but you did not do anything with it, it will not resend to that group. So what we've found though is that you do want to wait at least a week or so to start following up with people who didn't leave a review, because it does. Some people will not do it right away. It'll take a couple of days or even a week for them to remember, oh, this is something I should be doing for you. So you want to give them a little bit of a break, so you don't want to like be too pestering about it. See if they do it on their own, and then kind of follow back up with anybody that. Some people will leave you just a positive response without leaving a review, or some people will just not do anything. And for that group, you just want to kind of give them a little bit of time. But you can check out any of your reviews under reviews at the top. You could see where the review came from. Like if it came from, you could actually check by source. Right now, at the top, Miranda, yeah, that's fine. You could scroll down too. Like you could see that if it came in from Google, if it came in from Facebook, like it'll show the actual icon. Or you could choose at the top where it says source and filter that way. But it'll say what the rating was, what the response was, and then it gives you a little dialog box where you could rate back. So it's pretty simple. Just one thing else to consider is that I do get a lot of questions about this. So what Reputation.com is basically an aggregator of reviews that are out there. So yes, when we solicit for reviews, we're going to get them and we're going to see them in the platform. But if somebody just organically leaves you a review on Google or Facebook or Yelp, it will still show up in this platform, and you would get the notification. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. So I think that was my quick tutorial.
I think the only other one, I'll push it to the slide, is about the widget they can add.
Oh, sure, yes. So once you have a verified listing with Kigo, the next thing is obviously to get you guys some reviews. Once you have, I would say, at least 3 reviews, then we could ask Kigo to add the Reputation.com widget to your Kigo site. And what that does is basically pull in reviews from Google specifically. The only thing that you have to consider is it will only pull in Google reviews that actually have a sentiment attached, meaning somebody has to have written text. If it's just like an actual star rating with no copy, it will not pull that as a review. And then when the consumer comes to your Kigo site, usually it's on the home page as well as the customer testimonial page. And that's where you would see that widget. So it's definitely what we call social proof, meaning that you're not just saying that you're a great company. There are people out there that are willing to also say that you're a great company, and that means a lot to other customers that are trying to see, like, when they're doing their shopping, is this a company that I want to do business with? The one thing you need to consider when adding this widget is it will remove the Kigo review widget that Miranda was mentioning before. Personally, in my opinion, this is something you should be doing, and I don't think that's a problem to remove the Kigo widget. As I mentioned before, it's great to get reviews directly on your website, but what really matters is getting the reviews on the third-party sites. So that's what's going to show that you have those reviews and not make them do any additional homework to find them. So it's pretty simple. We would just send a request to Kigo, ask them to add the widget, and usually within the same day or maybe within the next couple business days at the most, it would be done.
Great. And I did want to mention, Erica, too, that not all sites will pull onto this widget.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, that's what it's only going to be Google, basically.
Yeah, and I think I've seen Facebook, but like HomeAdvisor won't. So I know there's guys out there that have HomeAdvisor reviews. Those will not pull through this widget.
Right. Not HomeAdvisor and not Yelp. Basically, it's Google and once in a while Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Is there anything else?
Well, I'm happy to answer questions once we finish the rest of the presentation, or if there's something you'd rather talk about offline, like outside of the webinar, you're welcome to email me or call me anytime. I'm happy to walk through the platform directly, answer any questions, or help you with any review requests.
Great. Thanks so much, Erica.
Sure.
Okay. So I wanted to just go through a couple more slides just on how to respond to review tips, some do's and don'ts. Some of these Erica touched on, which is great. So some review tips when you're responding, you want to respond promptly. When you respond to them in a timely manner, it shows the customer that you care about their experience, and in the long run, it'll leave a lasting impression. You want to thank them. Whether the review is positive or negative, you should start off by just thanking them for letting them know that you appreciate them and that they took the time to write the review and sharing their experience online. So you should start it off they should stay positive, but you should start off the reviews just by thanking them. Address complaints. So there will be, just unfortunately there are times where there's going to be a customer that might not be happy and they might post a negative review or have a complaint. If they do, you want to address that. It reassures the consumer that their review and their feedback is taken seriously and that you're willing to work on a resolution with them. Be professional and polite. Your response, like Erica mentioned, is visible to everyone, and you're representing your company. So you definitely want to always just make sure that when you're communicating, you're doing it in a professional manner, you're polite about it. And then as far as negative reviews, once you thank them for leaving the review, there should be a point, I think, right, like early on where you just take that conversation offline, where you can call them, email with them, communicate with them outside of the review platform to find out what happened, what the issue was, how you can resolve it. And then a lot of times, I've seen it just in my own life, there are times where you can go back, like if you don't leave a good review, that you can go back and once your experience with the business has been resolved, that there are times where they go back and they rewrite a positive review. So those are things you want to consider when you are in your platforms responding to the reviews that are left for you.
I would just mention one thing really quick, and that, and you basically touched on that already. And just when you're crafting your response back, just always keep in mind it's not just to that consumer. It's public, so anybody's going to see it. And if you do need to take the conversation offline, I would just put that as part of your response. Like, I'm happy to address this offline with you. I'll be giving you a call shortly. That way, if other consumers are taking a look at those negative comments, they're seeing that you're being proactive about it and professional in your response back.
Yep, 100%. So, and that's the next slide is handling those negative reviews. Just like Erica said, as quickly as possible, in your response, provide that other means of communication for that consumer to call you and address you and talk about the issue further. Like we touched on already, those happy customers are the ones that, that they're going to leave you a good review. We want to focus on them because if you do get these negative reviews, by getting those positive reviews, it's going to outweigh the negative and overall improve your overall star rating that you have. So whenever you guys, a lot of you guys are just starting out or just finished your first spring, you want to, once you feel comfortable where you've done a couple services and you feel at a point where you can request a review from them, we definitely want to go ahead and do that. Like Erica mentioned, we don't want to, overdo it and keep, pushing for them. When I would say Erica, and you might say better, but I was going to recommend like a 30 to 60 day type window, when you guys are out there doing services for the first communication, like after you've completed like your second service, to go ahead and say, hey, would you mind leaving me a review?
Yeah, Reputation.com used to have like it set up where you weren't even allowed to email the consumer again until 30 days was up. We asked them to lift that in case we didn't want to do it that way, but that's how they did have it set up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's a good window to go by. And as the season changes, like when you guys are out there in the spring, after a couple services, request reviews, and then when you're back in getting ready for like fall is another good time where you can get out there and push for reviews. You guys are out there, you're busy, but it's something that we definitely see the importance of, so we want to make sure that there is a time where you guys sit down and are able to do these, or, like we mentioned earlier, if you want to do a bulk upload where we can be a part of that process by, pushing those reviews out for you. To the email addresses that you guys have for your customers. The last point is when retailers reply to negative reviews on social media and online rating sites, a third of those customers either deleted their negative review or replaced it with a positive review. And that's like I just mentioned, a lot of times once they are satisfied, they will go ahead and change that. Reviews, do's and don'ts. Don't consider. Don't write fake reviews for your business. Don't pay any third party to post fake reviews posing as a customer. Don't pay a third party to post any review on behalf of anyone else. You need to get legitimate customers to post reviews. Otherwise, you can end up hurting your business online more than you can helping it by going out there and trying to acquire reviews that aren't real. Do consider linking to review profiles from your website, utilizing the marketing materials that we spoke about earlier that we have available to leave behind to consumers about leaving a review, training your staff, sending an email after completing a service, providing links to places consumers can leave reviews, request reviews during an after-service follow-up call, and review diversity is good for consumers and search engines. So it is okay, if you do get reviews on other review profiles, but with the focus being Google. But like we said, Facebook is okay too. We want to make sure that they're going to help your SEO. Most importantly, we want to make sure that, through Reputation.com, when they pull on your site, they're going to be there. So I push Google and Facebook. Those are the ones that, I like franchisees to focus on as they start this process in the first year. Summary. So more reviews equals more customers equals more revenue for your business. When to start requesting reviews. So depending on when you open and when your services started to determine sort of when you start requesting those reviews. I know I reached out to some of you guys already about doing it if you haven't already. And I'm here to help as well. If you don't have the time to send them and you want to send me those emails for the consumers that you want to send a review request to, you can send them to me and I will do it through the Reputation.com platform for your business. If you've been servicing a few services already or you're exiting your first spring, you definitely want to get out there and request reviews from the customers that you have. Now's a great time to do it as you're heading into fall. And then once you're doing your fall services and you're exiting out of fall, I would say that's another good time to go ahead and push for reviews again from the customers that you have. On our Lawn Doctor YouTube channel, we have tutorials on Reputation.com. They're great, just helpful guides on how to use the platform. But again, Erica and myself are available to you if there's anything that you guys need in terms of Reputation.com. And there's also just online review materials that cover some of the things we talked about today. There are just some materials available for you. If you go on the Fran Connect, you'll be able to have access to them. If you go to the search bar and you type in, reviews or online reviews, it'll pull some materials for you. Even the tutorials for Reputation.com pull there. as an easy way to just find some guides and information on online reviews. Questions. So hold on, let me just unmute everybody.
The conference has been unmuted.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen if that's okay. I'm just gonna. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I wanted to check the chat bar, so see if anybody left any questions. I don't see any. So does anybody have questions on online reviews, the third-party review sites, Reputation.com, Kigo? Okay. If not, great. Is as a follow-up, just with Reputation.com. So, I'll work with Kigo to find out about your Google listings. If you've been verified, then we can go ahead and get you access to that platform. You can get started using it. I'll be following up with everybody, just kind of on reviews and staying on top of you guys as new owners opening your business, just making sure that you keep it top of mind as something that you want to do. So you'll get some reminders from me and some ways that I can help you to just be able to really get out there and start getting reviews and help improve your business. Erica, is there anything that you want to add before we stop the webinar?
No, just thank you guys for your time. And as I mentioned, if there's questions come up after the webinar is over, anytime, just feel free to email me or call me, and I'm happy to walk through anything to do with reviews or Reputation.com or Kigo for that matter, because I manage that relationship as well.
Great. Yeah, thank you everybody so much for joining us on this Summer Friday. Everyone have a nice weekend, and I will be in touch with you all soon. Thank you so much, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.